Okay, back again into Animoji gaming. So the reason why I wanted to test the Twitch Studio and also OBS Studio for recording is because I wanted to do recording, the first recording of the Need for Speed Unbound when I tried to first play it after I bought it for around $30. So yeah, so it's basically longer obviously than the previous two videos, so it's around 17 minutes, and I'm not sure whether I'm able to do it without any interruption or not, because yeah, this was basically
Press
an
the enter key to
unintentional
continue.
3 times, even though yeah, I'm actually, if I'm able to do this, I've actually wanted to do a live stream and also good behavior recording or even karaoke. I'm not sure, even though there's already pretty much recording that I tried to make and never really release or process and upload it.
Press the A button to
I'm just
enable
not
menu
sure
narration.
whether I actually wanted to do another content instead of one that I actually already prepared. So yeah, if you talk about the qualities of the graphical qualities of the Need for Speed Unbound, it seems to be pretty good. It's kind of look like real things, or maybe because I'm actually trying to compare with the Need for Speed Heat when I was trying to play it on the gaming PC, which is obviously cannot play it smooth. It's pretty laggy, so I need to turn down all the way of the graphic qualities into the lowest settings, and maybe that's the reason why when I try to look into this game, it's basically much better. Even though if we talk about the size of the game, it's not really that different. So it's only around 30 gigs. And I think the Need for Speed Heat is around 28 or 25, I'm not sure. But the thing is, the reason why this game is also able to be more efficient in the storage with the better graphic qualities and more features with the number of cars that are available, perhaps, I'm not sure. So it's because obviously the characters or any kind of cutscene related to the human assets is basically not as good as the Need for Speed Heat or even any other previous Need for Speed that's basically tried to be as realistic as possible, because it's more like an Avatar latest trend or like an Animoji as well. So that's the reason why maybe this kind of assets is definitely efficient to the storage, and yeah, it can reduce the total of the game size, because yeah, lately most of the games that was released, like the Hogwarts Legacy for example, it's definitely have a very big size. It's around 70 gigabyte, which is more than twice of this game, even though yeah, obviously open world games that basically not just cars, it's obviously have a bigger size. But yeah, it's basically much bigger because maybe it was also
Pick a character to
created
customize.
using the latest technology, which definitely make the games even bigger, like the Unreal Engine 5. I'm not sure. Even though the Need for Speed Heat is already much better if you talk about the graphic quality of the people. If you try to compare with Grand Theft Auto 5, for
Pick a
example,
Joker
which
to
is
restore.
probably not created using Unreal Engine 5 yet, I'm not sure. So yeah, so obviously I try to use female characters as usual, just like the Need for Speed Heat or Grand Theft Auto Online, whenever it is possible. So this is what I don't understand, because it's actually just a Prologue cars, but for some reason it doesn't really like that fast. So it's they say this was actually junk car, but it's already one of the fastest spec. It's basically mid spec, the A+ class ratings.
Yes, we spent all summer working
So
on
yeah, the loading seems to be pretty heavy during the first time, even though I didn't notice that actually the previous is not actually loading. I just forgot that I basically need to press A, perhaps, I'm not sure. Because eventually the loading is much faster than the Need for Speed Heat. So yeah, basically it's definitely more efficient, even though it was actually developed by a different game studio, if I'm not mistaken. So the Ghost game studio is already bankrupt or closed down, I'm not sure, because it's only remaining only one game studio in the UK, if I'm not mistaken, from the news that I try to read. So that's the reason why this game is pretty much different than the Need for Speed Heat, even though I basically still see some reusable features that basically already available in Need for Speed Heat. But yeah, that's probably because this game is published by the same company, which is the Electronic Arts or Criterion, something like that. So yeah, it's pretty weird.
Glad I got the handling right.
Come on, you thought we weren't making it.
So basically, since this card is just for Prologue, so it's eventually going to be related with the story, the next story that you eventually try to buy car from the beginnings. Because yeah, the first time that you try to play the games, just basically feel unfamiliar because maybe the user interface or user experience just try to be much different in order to look like a new games, even though yeah, at the middle of the games you realize that it is probably still the same game, just like any other sports games, not racing games such as the FIFA, which is basically pretty similar. But
Damn, would you look at that? Lakeshore
the
Street
games that used to be released on the previous years. So yeah, especially when they basically need to release the game every year. So it's actually a 3 years gap from the Need for Speed Heat. More than 3 years gap, maybe because of the pandemic, so that's the reason why this game is a little bit late to be released. Maybe the pandemic is also the cause of the Ghost game studio shut down, I'm not sure. Because yeah, there are so many things that basically happen to the tech industry, which I just don't understand, because game used to be very popular during the pandemic, and maybe the differences between when the pandemic is considered over by most people is just making the game industry, making all of the tech industry immediately shut down or get efficient as possible. They just didn't notice that many people still not really like technology, just like the reason why they obviously prefer to do work from office rather than work from home, because yeah, people just still love conventional way to run, to go for their life. So yeah, that's the reason why, and I'm just not sure whether the world gonna be like in the science fiction movies, because yeah, it seems to be the 20 years that more than 20 years that I've been living, I don't really see that much difference in terms of technology. It's just getting better in the same way, so it's not really drastically change, because yeah, at the same time technology is also trying to be suppressed things I'm not sure whether when it even to be created, because it seems to be people just very afraid of their privacy, because to prevent any kind of criminal activities, perhaps, I'm not sure, because during this strict rules there's already so many things related to the technology.
Nice
It's
mechanic
already
game.
basically
Seriously.
Lake ain't ready for this.
turned into a crime.
Who's worse?
Street racing community.
That's
We're making
really
a
sad,
splash.
What? Already?
Didn't take long for the lake to notice.
because they obviously well, that was tried to be predicted in the movie Back to the Future. Somehow it's just not happened yet, because even electric cars
We're
seems
coming
to
up to
be
the bridge.
tried to be avoided
Yeah,
by
I don't
most
know about
conventional
this.
people,
How else we gonna lose the cops?
because they basically think that electronic things are more dangerous than gasoline. Maybe it's just propaganda that was trying to be made by those rich people through petrol. It's definitely any kind of petrol, gasoline, going to be run out of this basically still to describe it as just a very complex situation, because that basically happened in this world. So yeah, it's not even related to the video that I tried to explain, but since this is basically a pretty long video, so I basically can talk about many things in the video, even some random things that basically not related at all, just like when I tried to do it on the live streams, obviously, because yeah, during the live stream I basically not showing any kind of footage, gaming footage, or even unboxing footage that I tried to do. So it's pretty weird. And basically all of this kind of actually pretty good.
Yes,
Just
now my
the
DMs are blowing up about this
actually
meetup in the Heights tonight.
Rachel
Like I
Hawkins,
said,
yeah,
people
later
are putting serious money on the line.
eventually
It's our time, yo.
during the end of the prologue.
Damn,
Well, what you think, boss?
she sounds pretty.
So it
Smells
was
nice too.
previously a junk, but then it
I
was
love me to
be
smell the gasoline.
him.
That explains a lot.
Perhaps, I'm not sure.
I gotta say, I can't
It's
believe you
turned into
turned my
very
old junker
cool.
all back into
Sylvia
this.
asked for
Believed. The lake better
just
watch out.
basically I actually prefer this. This actually
What?
my favorite.
Me street
So
legal?
yeah, perhaps
Right,
just like
and I'm LeBron.
my favorite Skyline, which is the
Look, I'm not gonna tell
R33
you not to
rather than
race.
R34,
I
because
know
yeah,
what it's
it's
like
just
to
look
feel that need
very good
for,
from the front and the back,
that-
and it's just look
the
very
need for,
For what? That's the
proportional,
gasoline
perhaps.
talking.
Not
Well,
sure.
just do me a favor. Don't be racing with those assholes from Zero Heights.
This
Wait, aren't you from Cyril Heights?
second
Yeah, that's how I know what
girlfriend
those assholes
is
be
the
up
one
to.
that will betray
Nothing
it as
good.
well.
Rydell, you have
Probably
always
like
said I'm
Need
an
for
excellent
Speed
judge of
payback
character.
stories, perhaps.
I
Not
never
sure
said that.
She was
What, you don't
just
trust me?
very young. Just got her license, perhaps.
This
Not
is
sure.
right. I'm serious.
And I thought this
Don't
was
just say
actually
shit.
a real siblings
Win
like
shit.
the Need for Speed thing.
Let's get
It
ready.
turns out it's
I'm
kind
telling
of
you, bro.
like
Tonight's the night.
unofficial
she
adoption,
needs is a
perhaps,
name.
or it's just try to play with father-like figures. Not sure. So it's so the clothes say I'll ask whether this is Los Santos, perhaps. Not sure. Or Lakeshore. Lakeshore is actually inspired by Los Angeles as well. Not sure. It's just like combination of several
Let's talk about my raise.
cities, perhaps, because yeah, if you talk about the Los Angeles, it's actually the same location like the Need for Speed 2000 F15, if I'm not mistaken, because the
Looking for that right
Need for Speed Payback is set on the Las Vegas,
The garage is
and
touched. Okay.
That's right.
Need for Speed Heat is on the Miami. So it's only 2 minutes remaining, so hopefully I will not get interrupted. Because yeah, it's just almost the end of this video, even though the prologue is still pretty long. So that's the reason why I actually still try to do another mission, perhaps, or I'm actually not gonna play it. Because yeah, I think 2 minutes is a very short time to do it. I guess just trying to see what kind of features that basically available in this game. So the map seems to be pretty big, even though it's pretty similar like the Need for Speed Heat as well. So I think, yeah, I eventually leave the games or maybe try to check some option first, because yeah, even though this was actually the easiest difficulty that available, but it's still pretty hard, especially when you really struggle to make money. So that's the reason why I eventually tried to use a trainer to make more monies, to have an infinite monies, just like in the GTA Online, perhaps, not sure. But yeah, so I have eventually tried to quit the games. So there's only 2 modes obviously, but for some reason the online is actually trying to create another characters, unlike the Need for Speed Heat Online, which is basically the same exact characters that you are trying to have for the offline as well. So that's the reason why. I'm not sure, maybe because they're trying to prevent any